And how do we know that began in 1535? Our good friend Thomas More. He, you remember, was a great diarist, and he wrote, and the first of the paintings you'll see. Afterwards, please feel free to, walk around, have a look, take pictures. You're free to take. And I'll put out some booklets and have a look at the stained glass windows as well. But this one is by Newgate Bridge, and on the 4th of May 1535, that was the scene. As you remember, Thomas More had a cell which had a window on the inside and onto the street, and that was the scene he saw, and that's how we know it was on the 4th of May that the Carthusian monks, the first of the martyrs under Henry VIII, for the faith, for their conscience. And that was the reason why Thomas More was in the Tower, wasn't he? And the reason I'm sure he didn't come all the way down to Tyburn was because his friend, John Fisher, was also kept in the Tower at that time. And of course, Henry VIII, hearing that the Pope was going to give him the cardinal's hat, what does he say? Oh well, when he heard that, envoys were coming across towards Dover, what does he say? Oh well, if the Pope's going to give him the cardinal's hat, I will send him his head. So that's the reason why John Fisher was taken over to Tower Hill the following morning and executed. And Thomas More wasn't even aware that 2 weeks later, so that happened on the 22nd of June, 6th of July, and that's the other painting where you see the bells of sepulchre would ring, to announce, to get the gatherings to come. And that time they will see that there's a crowd gathering. And of course, Meg, his daughter, thinks, I wonder which poor soul is going to his death. And going into the cells, she sees the cell empty, and so she's pushing past the soldiers to say farewell to her father. So that's the other painting. So they are both guillotined at Tower Hill, but the rest of them for treason was, until death it was always death by hanging. But from 1535, 4th of May, we have a special thing put into the sentencing. While you're hanging, you will be drawn, your entrails burnt, decapitated, and your quarters exhibited at His Majesty's pleasure. So hence you have the beginning of the unlawful bit of not just hanging, but drawing was actually, they were removing the entrails. And that's why when they were digging the underpass for the subway, they found a big mound of bones and scorched her, because that's where they used to burn. And so you are sitting actually on holy ground, because do you know when they chop up, when they were quartering, it was not a neat quarter. It was mainly butchers, barbers, and cooks who had sharp instruments. They were the ones who were usually commandeered to do this job. Where would they wash all this blood? By the stream. Hence the name we've got Tyburn, was one of the streams that flow. Like you have Kilburn, Marylebone, Westburn, they're all streams. And Tyburn is two. There are two streams, and records go back to 1231 when I've forgotten the name. It's my age, you know. I've forgotten the name of the people who owned the estate of Tyburn, and they were the ones who provided fresh water to the city of London, and that was from the two streams. And along streams was where they used to wash all the knives and saws. And what did Tertullian say? The blood of the martyrs is the seed of Christianity. So you are actually sitting on holy ground, because this is just underneath is where the Tyburn flows, and we know it's still flowing because damp still rises for us. So you are actually on holy ground, and I feel very privileged when during Mass the priest says, "Look not on our sins, but on the faith of your church." The peace prayer. And I stand every day. I'm standing on the faith of the martyrs. And you all must remember, in your churches, that's the faith you're all standing on. But also, this is the faith you are going to leave behind for the next generation. You know, when somebody asks you, "Oh, can you do this?" and you're very busy, and you think, "Oh, I'll make a little sacrifice and I will do it." What is the word I used in that sentence? I'll make a little sacrifice. Martyrs did not just turn up and next day have to, die for the faith. It was because they were already doing little sacrifices. They were ready for the biggest sacrifice. So, in a sense, each of you sitting here is a martyr because you're witnessing. And in your way, you are practicing to be a martyr in little ways, so that when the big call comes, you will find it no difficulty in saying yes. And this is how our martyrs, Henry VIII just had one beam. And you might think, why has it got a triple beam? That's what's called a Tyburn tree, or the triple tree. Was Elizabeth, then from 1517, Elizabeth decides lots of people are coming to watch because they've never seen the inside of the body, remember? And the voyeurism in us wants to see, this is, and then they're chopping up blood and gore. By the way, if you want blood and gore, the museum part is through there. It's all depicted. Please go and have a look at it later and take photographs if you wish. But these are all the relics of most of the martyrs who died here at Tyburn, except we do have a bit of the cap of Thomas More and the hair shirt, part of his hair shirt, which only Meg knew, because he only allowed her to wash it. And when he left it to her, part of the hair shirt we do have of Thomas More here. And the relics, because it was a job that was commandeered, it was not a paid job. So what happens is, remember, Catherine of Aragon, she has her whole Spanish entourage, and they're all around here. So it's open to bribery. So the executioners, they're not going to get much money for doing all this job. So the women bribe religious because they need, remember, this is the time when you have grave robbers and you have people looking for bones and things like that. So now, throwing it into a pit does not count for a Christian burial, does it? So now they have to be given a Christian burial. These people are dying for Christ. So what happens is the women write the executioners and they put parts of the body separately. And the men, very stealthily, then bring these parts of the bodies to the women's homes where they sew it up and they send it over to Seville, Madrid, Lisbon and Lanzarote. And there they are buried in churches and monasteries and in cathedrals and abbeys. Hence the provenance of who these martyrs were. Because later, Duke Gondomar and the Spanish embassy, when they realized we came here in 1903 and we were going to have adoration 24/7, which since the 6th of March 1903 has never stopped. It's carried on, still carries on till today. And they felt this should be the place where the relics, some of the relics of the martyrs should come. So it's courtesy of the Spanish embassy and Duke Gondomar that we have these relics. And the relics on that side are courtesy of the Abbey at Moulins, Abbey from the French thing, which was collected by Henrietta Maria, who was Charles I's wife. And she had, because when you're paying somebody, you want your kith and kin, their bodies to be taken over. So you will find mainly Benedictines and Franciscans.